I'm a certified health coach. I help people to put their body back into balance, back to the origin of what it's meant to be. And I do it by consulting them throughout a 6-week program or just a one-off consultation, just finding out what your lifestyle is, what are your health concerns, and why do you have them, right? So I find the triggers for the health concerns and we try to change, and then after some time the person feels a lot better, more energetic, healthier, decreasing the sugar levels, the cholesterol, the blood pressure, etc. So this is what we do as health coaches. I've also written a book, my publication. Now, today's topic is going to be what makes us sick. Why do we get ill? From flus to digestive problems to diabetes and more serious. Where does it all start? How can we reverse it? And how can we prevent it, right? So if you look at your sheets that I've printed off for you, you have the lifestyle, which is at the beginning of the cycle, basically the root cause, the food, the caffeine, alcohol, smoking, stress, lack of exercise, over-exercise, and shallow breathing. These are the main triggers that may be causing problems. Now, the first stage that your body might be experiencing is too much acidity in your body, so acidosis. What is that? It's through eating too much meat, through alcohol, through smoking, through over-exercising, even stress, and eating junk food. Even as a vegetarian, you eat a lot of lentils, oats. That is also quite acidic. So we need to learn how to balance it out. And acidosis with too much toxins, too much acidity on the body can lead to a few problems, which is under stage 1. So it's fatigue, lethargy, the 3 p.m. crashes, frequent colds, frequent flu, so a low immune system, skin problems, acne, even eczema, psoriasis. Those are all stage 1 problems of a very acidic body. Acid reflux, heartburn, the digestive problems, and starting to gain weight for no apparent reason. I don't really eat junk food, but I'm still gaining weight. Why is this happening? So it may be too much acidity in your body. So when we don't treat that, and a lot of people don't, they kind of dismiss these problems. They dismiss that they're getting sick 5-6 times a week, a month, a year even, that they have acne problems. There's a reason to everything, but they don't really treat that. They treat the topical problems. They'll take a painkiller for the headache, they'll put some cream for the acne, they'll forget the fact that they don't go to the toilet every day, etc. Then the stage 2, after you don't treat your acidosis, becomes high body inflammation. This is where things get a little bit more serious and people suffer from chronic inflammation. When you cut a finger, blood comes out, but also around it you have kind of a plaque formation, a dry, to protect the wound. This is inflammation. This is good when needed. Same thing happens in your body, but when you, let's say, eat junk food or you've experienced some sort of stress, inflammation increases in order to attack the bad virus, the bad cells that are in your body. But then it gets into the cycle and becomes chronic inflammation when it's constantly attacking your healthy cells. And from high inflammation, you start having endothelial dysfunction, which is to do with the heart, the arteries, right? Nutritional deficiencies, right? So whatever you eat, you're not even absorbing anymore. You're eating the broccoli, the fruits, you're not really absorbing. There's malabsorption. The vitamin deficiencies, stiff arteries, digestive issues, leaky gut, IBS. Those issues when your body is just not functioning properly. Hormonal imbalance, thyroid dysfunction, increase in body fat, and insomnia. All these problems come from acidosis, high inflammation, and these are the symptoms. But again, a lot of people don't treat them. They kind of wait until they hit a wall. But these are the signs where you need to already start thinking, am I doing something wrong, and go back to the lifestyle causes, not the medication. You know, if I don't go to the toilet every day, if I don't poop every day, there's a reason. I need to fix that. If I have sleeping problems, if I find it difficult to fall asleep, or I wake up a few times at night, not because of a baby, but because of naturally you're waking up to either go to the toilet, or that's a problem. And again, you are gaining weight, you keep gaining weight. There's a root cause, and you need to address it. But people don't, majority of the time, because we get busy with work, we get busy with all sorts of stuff. And then we get to stage 3, and this is where things get pretty ugly, and that's when we suffer from high blood pressure, from diabetes type 2, dyslipidemia is when you've got your cholesterol out of whack, hypothyroidism, obesity, depression, organ dysfunction, and heart disease, and then it goes into heart stroke, right? So these are clinical diseases, and that's when a person actually goes to a doctor and gets the medication and starts treating stage 3. But nobody tells them to hold on, go back to the root cause of this process from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 in order to eliminate this health concern that you've just developed, right? It is possible. But instead we do other treatments like medication, etc. So it doesn't, but the lifestyle is the same. So what happens is that the medication, it maintains you, but it doesn't improve you, and medication has a lot of side effects. Like, for example, if you start taking cholesterol medication, the drug that is prescribed raises your sugar, and once your sugar is high, you turn diabetic, right? So you start taking glucophage or sugar medication. Then as your sugar is high, your blood pressure increases. Then you take blood pressure pills, and then you'll end up with a mini heart attack, and then you won't be able to, etc., etc. And it all started 20-30 years ago when a doctor prescribed you cholesterol medication. But the reason your cholesterol got high is because of stage 2, your inflammation was high. Because of stage 1, your acidity was high, but because of the lifestyle causes, right? So it's super simple. It's like a nice formula. And I remember once I had my client, he had gout, and he was very young. He's 30 years old, 115 kg, and just out of life, like no desire to do anything. And I sat down with him, and I found out everything that he did in his life for the past 10 years. And I said to him, well, there's no surprise you have gout. It's whatever you've put in, you got out. You kind of deserve it, because of the lifestyle that you've lived. You haven't done anything to support your body. So what did we do in 8 weeks? We reversed gout in 8 weeks. So now he's from 115 to he's 85 kilograms. He's vegan, and this was 8 months ago. He's now a turned person, and now friends are challenging him to have a six-pack. This is a guy who didn't leave home because he had a swollen toe, he didn't move, he had no job, he just didn't have any lust for life. But for me, it wasn't a disaster because I saw it very clearly. It's black and white. You have this lifestyle, you have these stages that your body goes through, and then it just hits a wall. He was way too young to hit the wall so early, though. So this is why, and let's say someone else that I know, they get seasonal flus, maybe seasonal flus would be 3 times a year, right? But he gets them even more often, like 5-6 times a year. And because in Dubai we have the aircon, we have the heat, so we're more prone to the body temperatures which are not healthy for us. But if your body is weaker, then of course you're going to get them faster. And this is because maybe he's still not at stage 2, maybe he's still at stage 1. He's very high, got very high acidity in his body. So, and I know why, because of his lifestyle. So let's change that, and we decrease your acidity with a problem. There's a process. So it's very easy to take it back. You are in charge of your body, you are in control. So you just change your lifestyle according to your body needs. There's no one standard rule. And you'll return your body back into its own balance, back into origin. Yeah? And here we started talking about some tips, how to, one, decrease acidity. So obviously meat products, they are a little bit quite acidic. So whoever eats a lot of meat products, I ask them to decrease it in order to turn their body more alkaline. Eliminating alcohol and sugary drinks. So alcohol is obviously quite acidic and is a problem for a lot of people. In Dubai, most of my clients don't drink alcohol, so I don't have that issue. But when you do work with some nationalities, it's so ingrained in their culture that it's very difficult for them to avoid it. But that is the main problem for their health, is you know, the daily wine at dinner or lunch even. So it does become an issue that we work to eliminate, because it does bring your body into acidity, and it takes 30 days for your body to clear the alcohol from the body. 30 days. Now, sugary drinks, by that I mean your sodas, obviously your Coke, your 7-Up. By that I mean packaged juices, even if they're organic. They do have preservatives, they do have sugars, and they get into your body and they hit the bloodstream straight away, so the pancreas releases the insulin, you know, and it's just way too much sugar. And as a man, you eat 8 grams of sugar a day. As a woman, meant to eat 6 grams of sugar, and that's including your fruits, including your, you know, so there's a lot of sugar that we have every day. So we need to at least get rid of the junk, the soda drinks and the sugary, the packaged juices, in order to avoid that sugar blast. Also, fresh fruit juices are high in sugar. Okay, fresh orange juice is the same amount of sugar as a can of Coke. Very important for you to note. And so if you do want to have orange juice, have it with a vegetable, so that the fiber slows down the sugar release of the fruit in your body. Okay, so whenever a fruit smoothie of, you know, just berries and bananas, again, a sugar blast, just put in a vegetable there to slow down the sugar release. Okay, so very important to remember that. It's just a rule of thumb. No fruit juices, and if you do want, just mix a vegetable in there. Okay, decreasing acidity. So we need to increase fruits and vegetables because they're more alkaline, so we become more alkaline, right? So we turn our body back into this sort of neutral, more towards the positive alkaline state. I don't know whether you're aware, that's how cancer is treated in most of alternative clinics, because cancer is a state of acidity in the body. It's very, very acidic, whether it's through negative thoughts, smoking, alcohol, junk food. The body becomes very acidic, and cancer cells, they thrive in an acidic environment. So what they do with that state of a body, they just alkalinize it with loads of fruits and vegetables, huge injections of vitamin C, huge injections of other vitamins, and they relieve the body of it. But nobody ever talks about it because it's not in the interest of the world, right? Otherwise, you know, nobody will be making money, which is fine. But I want you to be aware that that's what acidity can do. It's a beautiful playground for a lot of diseases, a lot of health concerns. So try to always alkalinize it. Even if you don't eat meat, even if you don't drink alcohol, you still have lentils, you still have oats, you still have nuts, you still have grains, rice, quinoa, buckwheat. They all have acidity. They have, you know, this phytic acid around their grains, natural things, you know. So there's always something that's acidic in our body. So we try to increase the intake of the fruits and vegetables, and to alkalinize our state, right? The last bit here, I put drink alkaline water. So alkaline water is when you put a lemon inside your water, right? Also baking soda, you mix in your alkalized water. Fresh vegetable juices is also considered very alkaline. Now, a lot of people might say, but isn't too much alkalinity can be too good? But because we're constantly taking in acidity, taking an alkaline liquid is okay, because the moment it goes into your stomach, the stomach acidity neutralizes the alkaline water. But the byproduct of this chemical process is hugely beneficial for your body, for your bloodstream, etc. Okay. I brought a book for you to look. I don't have spare copies. I just got it recently. It says "Change your water, change your life." So water really does matter. The type of water that you drink, the quality of the water, and it talks about ionized, alkalinized water, how it is really good for you, and it can reverse a lot of stuff. Your body is 70% water. You are a walking water bubble, right? Your lungs are 95% water. Your brain is 80%. Your bones even have water. Everything has water. So the fact that you should drink water is important. I'm sure we're all adults here. I'm sure we drink enough water. I have kids. I know some kids that don't drink water at all, and they wonder why they have headaches. They feel tired after school. Their concentration is poor, and it could simply be because of lack of water and too much sugar. Right? They find it difficult to fall asleep. They have very disturbed sleep, or it's paining here in the hips and the knees because they're really dry. And I like to bring this example, and the kids love it and the adults love it too. Imagine a raisin, right? So you can visualize a raisin and visualize a grape, right? So if you don't drink enough water, you become like a raisin, dry and wrinkly. But once you start drinking enough water, you become like a grape, full of zest, plummish and happy and radiating. This is what happens when you hydrate your cells enough. Okay, so water is important. You are what you drink. There's a phrase, you are what you eat, but you are what you drink. I didn't put it here, but it's important to note caffeine, coffee, is acidic. People that I bumped into a lady in the elevator this morning, and she was like, "Oh, I need my coffee, otherwise I'm not functioning." Your body doesn't need it. Your stomach doesn't need it. Your bloodstream doesn't need it. It's a habit. It's a mind habit, and you feel that yes, it is giving you a rush. You are getting a bit of an energy kick, but it only lasts for 2 hours. After 2 hours, you drop again, and then you need to have another coffee, and then you get into this cycle. And when you have 1 cup of coffee at 8 in the morning, at 8 p.m. you still have 15% of caffeine in your body. Okay, so imagine if you have one at 8, one at 12, one at 4 p.m. By the time you go to bed at 10, 11, you still have maybe 50% of caffeine in your body. And you might be sleeping, but your sleep may be very light. It may be very disturbed, and you wake up tired. Another cup of coffee. So you get into this horrid vicious cycle, And when I had a client, she used to have 5 Turkish coffees in one day. 5. But she said, "Oh, Nigora, yes, I have 5 Turkish, but that doesn't matter. But I suffer from migraines." That's what she used to. Sometimes it's so bad I have to go to hospital. I vomit. I'm like, okay. I got rid of the coffees. It was a struggle. She did really well, but for 3 days, her head was exploding. It was so strong because she was so strongly addicted to the coffee. After 3 days, she was fine, and now it's been at 4 or 5 months. She doesn't have coffee, she doesn't have any migraines, and that's done. So watch what you drink. You know, being addicted, even if I'm addicted to broccoli, it's not good, right? Anything you're addicted to means that you're out of balance. You've got to be in harmony. If you come to Qiso Cafe and you want to have a cup of nice coffee, fine, in the afternoon, not because you need it, but because you're socializing and you want something, you know. Don't have Starbucks coffee. Don't have Costa coffee. Just don't have coffee. I think that would be my conclusion. You need to have natural energy. You know, and matcha tea would be a great substitute matcha, but it's full of antioxidants. It's full of goodness that allows you to lose weight. It makes you look younger, and matcha tea comes from Japan. No wonder they live so long and they're so pretty, right? They're like wrinkle-free. So it's a great substitute to coffee. It's a great substitute to energy drinks. You know, young men might be like drinking Red Bull and various energy drinks to give them energy. Again, very, very, very bad. Super acidic, full of free radicals. You know, the things that make you age faster, and just is not something that your body's craving. It's only in your mind. Now, so we've learned how to decrease the acidity, right? So we've got reducing the intake of meat, eliminating sugary drinks, more fruits and vegetables, and drinking alkaline water. That's great. Now, how to decrease inflammation? We have anti-inflammatory fruits, obviously the green vegetables, the kale, the spinach, but again, please note, don't eat kale and spinach on a daily basis, because they have this oxalic acid that too much of it in our body affects us. Okay, it may be poisonous. And it's a natural property that those leaves have. So have it every, I say, 4 days. So let's say one morning you have a kale smoothie, the next morning you have a spinach smoothie, the next day you have a parsley smoothie, and you mix it with banana, and you know, the book has some great smoothie recipes. And I do mention it, do not have kale every single day. You might end up with kidney stones. Yeah, so be careful. Green juice is great. Now, turmeric is something very widely used in India, and that's why the Alzheimer's case in India is extremely low because of turmeric. It's very good for the brain, anti-inflammatory, and this is a turmeric-based latte on almond milk. Very good. So I use turmeric in my foods. I have turmeric tea, and I want to show you how we prepared something. I'll show you quickly how to make an amazing, powerful turmeric concoction, which will release you of any pains that you've ever had, whether it's menstrual cramps, whether it's digestive issues, whether you're feeling low, like with the flu, low energy. It's really good. Berries, obviously, full of antioxidants, and they're very healthy. I know in this country we don't get them so often, and if we do, they're like price of an arm and a leg. But in summertime now they're very widely available. Olive oil, very good. Now I cook on ghee butter, and I use olive oil for my salads and things. Ghee butter, you even sell ghee butter here, yeah. So it's a healthy fat that the body knows.
One thing about olive oil, they tell that olive oil we should not be using for the cooking, we should pour it.
Exactly, for the salad.
Any reason? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the olive oil smoking point is very low. It's very fragile. It's very gentle. So once you start frying it or cooking with it, free radicals are formed. You know, the burn, the toxins. So that goes into your body. So that's why they suggest to just keep it raw. You eat it raw with your vegetables, with avocados, you know. So cook either on coconut oil, but some people don't like to cook on coconut oil because it has a taste. So ghee butter is perfectly fine as well. The nuts and other wholesome foods, I mean, there's so much information out there, you know, eat healthy, eat this, eat that. The main thing is to just not eat anything that is packaged, right? So any sort of biscuit, anything that's been put into package to preserve for longer, right? Anything that is in cans, in boxes, and everything natural. Your fruits, your vegetables, your meat products, your beans, your lentils. These are all natural things. So more of that and less of the sugary stuff. Now, having said that, rice, please swap your white to brown rice, because did you know that rice is grown brown? That's the way it grows. But it goes under, so brown rice has a lot of minerals, it has fiber, it's zinc, it's just so good for your body. And they've even done a study. They put a lot of people on white rice and a lot of people on brown rice, and the people that were eating brown rice actually lost weight. Because there's a lot of fiber. You go to the toilet and the fiber controls the sugar release again, right? White rice is just pure sugar. They process the brown rice and then it becomes white rice to make it lighter, and it cooks faster, and it is tastier, fine. But brown rice is better, health-wise. And all my clients, I convert them to brown rice. Very, very important. So this is with rice. Now, tips that I want to, something to keep your immune system. There's in Qiso you can buy black cumin seeds. Okay. The Latin name for them is Nigella seeds, right? And what you can do is you can take half of a teaspoon or even a teaspoon and put some raw honey and just put it in your mouth every morning. Okay, that improves your immune. And a lot of prophets, and they mention how black cumin is a cure to everything but death. So it improves your immune system, it decreases your cholesterol, it controls your sugar levels. It's a black cumin, and it's very available here. I haven't seen it anywhere else in Dubai, so I'm gonna grab a bag for myself. With raw honey is good, and bee pollen. I don't know whether you sell bee pollen here. Bee pollen is also. Do you guys know what bee pollen is? Bee pollen is basically when a bee goes through her hive, and she carries the honey to the bee queen. They drop some leftover stuff into the hive, and it's full of protein and digestive enzymes. So they were actually saying that they have a lot of digestive enzymes. So if you put bee pollen into an oil spill, it can digest it. It's that powerful. Yeah. Obviously not 100 grams, like 3, 4, maybe thousands of kilos, but it's very powerful.
So it will be very good to fight the cholesterol and all these things?
Of course. It has 18 vitamins apart from B vitamin, because B vitamins only come from animal products. It has 18 vitamins, it has digestive enzymes, it is very energizing. So even I have some young clients that prepare for exams, and when they feel low, I just get them to take a teaspoon of bee pollen just into them. It's like granules. You put in it doesn't taste amazing, but just do it, and it gives you this boost of energy immediately. It's very powerful. So this is bee pollen. Then Manuka honey. Manuka is a special bush in New Zealand. That's why it's different to any other honey. It's a special bush in New Zealand that the bees pollinate, and it's very medicinal. So you sell Manuka honey here. What's the activity here? Do you know? Just show it to them. Yeah, because the different activity of Manuka honey. Anything plus 10 works like an antibiotic. So it's very powerful. So whenever I wake up and I have a bit of a sore throat, I just put a teaspoon of Manuka in my honey, and it's immediately relieved. So having Manuka honey, in the morning is just very good. So you have a lot of things to do in the morning now.
That's what I was thinking.
But you can do it throughout the day. But mainly, when I feel low, this is when I push these things. When I feel, something is coming onto me, like a little virus, or then I do like everything, like a bomb of Manuka honey, of bee pollen, of black cumin seeds. But if I feel good, I'm okay, you know, I just have a bit of everything here and there. This is the Manuka. Okay, so it's 5+, which is for maintenance. Okay, so you have a teaspoon of this every day in your smoothie, maybe even in your oat porridge. So it's very good. Anything above 10+, it's a little bit more expensive, and it's like an antibiotic. Yeah, it's very interesting. And these are the Nigella seeds, the black cumin seeds. So you take a little bit of this in your teaspoon, you mix it with raw honey, and just eat it in your mouth. Yeah. Here I also mentioned matcha tea. So I talked about it before. It's full of antioxidants, and you can purchase it here.
We are going to have it soon.
You're gonna have to. So the most important thing is don't make matcha tea with hot water, because the hot water will kill the properties of matcha tea. It's a very. Do you know what matcha tea is? No. So matcha tea is a green tea. It's just a green tea bush, and what they do in Japan, 20 days in May. There's a special period in May from whatever date to only 20 days, where they cover the green tea, the leaves, the bushes, they cover from the sun. They wait until it ripens a little bit more, and then they pick the leaves, they devine it, so they take the leaves from the stick, and then they dry it, then they steam it, then they dry it again, and then they grind it against this very special stone. So then the powder is so fine and green, and this is why, so you know when you drink green tea, you put it in the water, you only get about 15 to 20% of the benefits of the green tea. It seeps into your water. With matcha tea you have 100% of the benefits from a green tea. Green tea is very good. It's full of antioxidants. It's a lot of research has been done on it. But how much can you drink of it a day? Only like 1 cup, or maximum 2. Whereas matcha tea, you have 1 cup of matcha tea, and it is equal to 20 cups of green tea. 1 cup. And when you make it, yeah, they from what I know, they sell it in the organic food and cafe. Yeah, they sell it. It's a little bit pricey, but you only have half like a teaspoon.
Yeah,
you mix. You mix with room temperature water, no more than 60 degrees. Make it not too boiling, but the key is to froth it, right? So you know those milk froths. I have one that I bought in Carrefour. It's like 20 dirhams. So it really changes the taste, because once I froth it, I make it fluffy. It breaks down the powder and makes it more drinkable and nice. It tastes like really strong green tea. It's beautiful. It's delicious.
What about the taste? Taste?
Like green tea. It's very good. It's strong, but it's very good.
Because green tea itself does not taste good, so if this thing is coming up, it will be more like something like medicine.
Take it as medicine then. Yeah. But you can mix it into a smoothie. You can mix it, with just don't cook it.
Okay, so just say for example, if I want to go for this matcha tea, means what exactly I need to do?
You need to buy it. Then you take a cup, and then you put teaspoon of it into your cup, and then you pour some water, not hot, mix it with a teaspoon just to dissolve the powder, and then you take a froth, and then you mix it again, and then it becomes all fluffy. The best thing, if you go on my website, I wrote a blog about matcha tea, and there's a video how to make it. There's the whole thing about it, so just watch it and it'll be easier. On the website, yeah.
It's there?
Yeah.
Info at this thing?
No, www.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's matcha tea. Now, good quality supplements is important, especially for vegans, vegetarians. They've got to take your B12. Your B12 is important. Some other, I don't like to prescribe vitamins forever. You just take them in phases. If you're low in vitamin D, you take your vitamin. Go and check your vitamin D level and take it for a period of time until you bring it up again. When you have a flu, then you take a strong vitamin C dose. You take 3,000 mg, for example, just to boost your immune system. probiotics is something I also advise. Do you know what probiotics are? No? Probiotics is good bacteria. Okay, so a lot of people suffer from constipation. I was actually explaining this to an 8-year-old kid this morning because her mum bought her kefir, fermented milk, which is full of good bacteria, and she didn't want to drink it. So then I had to draw her small intestine, large intestine, and why she's not pooping. Because she doesn't have the good bacteria soldiers to form the stool in order for her to release the bowel movements, right? She didn't have, and a lot of adults that suffer from constipation or even diarrhea, we don't have.
Something like that, lactobacillus?
Exactly, that's probiotic. That's exactly it. And that's a medical word for it. And that's what probiotics have. You can buy it, and please buy the ones that are kept in a fridge. Don't, get into this trap of them selling you probiotics, and you don't need to keep them in a fridge. It's more convenience for you, not because bacteria lives in a certain temperature. And buy the ones that are stored in a fridge. You take them and you put them in the fridge. That, or you can also buy kefir. Kefir is fermented milk. You can buy it in Lulu hypermarket, and when you taste it, you feel a little bit soury. That's the bacteria. Yeah, and it's really good. It's very tasty, and that will also improve your gut flora. So why am I saying that bacteria is important? You have good and bad bacteria in your stomach. When you take antibiotics, it kills the bad bacteria, but also kills the